Siege's situation right now is dire. It is, I mean, you've probably already seen the thumbnail and the title of this video. It's dying. And you could probably tell from the backgrounds of most of my videos, I play a lot of Siege. I love Siege. It's honestly one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my favorite multiplayers I've ever played. But all that is besides the point right now. The game in and of itself has been going through a lot. Like a cheater epidemic and just an overall lack of content, and people taking to the streets with pitchforks and torches screaming about how Siege is dying, Siege's player count is dipping, Siege is doing this, Siege is doing that. And I feel like it is not entirely fair to blame the devs, to blame the anti-cheat, to blame all the smaller parts. I think it's a bigger issue with Ubisoft in general, with the CEOs. And I'm not saying this is like an original idea I just came up with off the dome. This is literally just what I've seen and what I've heard. And this video is mostly to clear up misconceptions about how the devs don't care about the game, how the anti-cheat system is just awful because they don't really care. It's not like that. They can only put in so much of what they got, of what they're given. Like, think about it in the terms of like a fast food restaurant. You're the cashier. You're not gonna go back there and make the order that you just took. Your job is just supposed to be you give the money, you are given money, you give the money back, then you send the order back into the kitchen. You ring up the next person. That's how your job's supposed to go. But now you have people coming in like, oh, the food isn't as good anymore. You're complaining about how the cashier is doing a bad job, even though it's not the cashier's fault. The cashier just ring your order. All they did was just take your money, give you back your change, and send the order that you just gave them back into the kitchen. They can only do so much. They can't go back there and say, giddy up, get to it. Come on, I need those burgers double time. Come on, I need them now. They can only do so much, which is mostly what this video is about. I don't think Siege's big problem is cheaters. I don't think its big problem is the lack of content. I don't think its big problem is a lack of care from the developers. Because, I mean, honestly, there's so much time and time again that they do care about this game, and that they are going to try and make this game as good as it possibly can be. So I don't think it's fair to blame them when they aren't given the tools. Ubisoft has shown themselves time and time again to be trying to make a game like other games. I don't know how else to really say that. Like, you remember X Defiant from a couple of years ago? Well, not even a couple of years ago, from like a year or maybe two. They made X Defiant as like a challenger to COD. Because they're like, oh, COD ain't doing so hot. Why don't we hop in on their territory? Which on one hand is like, oh, wait, that's kind of brilliant, actually. Like, COD isn't doing too hot. Now we can snatch up some of those people who are like, this ain't what the game I used to love. We can snatch up those people and take them over and, mix things big with it. But X Defiant was a failure. It was a flop. It's due to a vast majority of reasons. But bottom line is, it failed. Now they're trying to do the same thing almost with a game like Apex. I promise you, if you ask anybody who loves Apex if they would rather get another Apex game or if they would rather get a Titanfall 2.5, they would buy Titanfall 2.5. I'm not saying Ubisoft should make Titanfall 2.5, but I'm saying that they're missing the point of what makes games special. Like, what makes a game, what makes you want to buy a game? Because when Apex came out, there's not really any games quite like Apex. There's no games that are, I mean, of course there's other battle royales, but there's no games that have Apex's nature, have Apex's sort of vibe, have Apex's overall, there's no other game quite like Apex. And there's no other game quite like Siege. Of course, you got CSGO, you got Valorant, you got other games that kind of have the same sort of vibe, but there's nothing like Siege. And Ubisoft is missing that when they're saying, oh, the numbers are down, we don't got to really support it that much. Like, Ubisoft is putting in only 20% energy into a game that deserves way higher than that, even though they're not realizing if you put more effort and more money into this game, you will get more money back. Because I've already made this case before, but they can only do with what they got. They can only do so much. So if their anti-cheat team is small because Rainbow Six Siege can't afford to pay their anti-cheat team above this threshold. They can't hire more people to work with that anti-cheat team of, let's say it's like 5 or 6 people. They would love to have 10, 12 people on, but they can only have 5 or 6 people because they're not given the attention and the money they need to pay those people. So now the cheating problem gets worse. And then since the cheating problem is getting so much worse, the people stop playing the game. People are like, oh my God, this game's full of cheaters. I'm not going to play this game anymore. Then people hop off the game and hop on to whatever game it is that they want to play instead of a game full of cheaters. And now Ubisoft sees numbers are down because the game is full of cheaters and no one wants to play a game full of cheaters. Even though if they put in even half the amount of effort they are into making these goofy ass fucking knockoffs of games that aren't doing very good, they'll make so much more money back. Rainbow Six Siege's problem isn't the lack of content. It isn't the cheaters. I mean, even though those are smaller issues, but those are not the big problem. The bigger problem, in big synopsis of this video, you can skip right to this part and know exactly what this video is about. It is Ubisoft in and of itself and the CEOs not seeing anything other than numbers instead of seeing the actual problems and issues plaguing the game. Because, yeah, they're not getting that much content. Okay, we get 2 events a year, and we get a new operator and a new gun, and that's it every season. And, of course, it'd be nice to get that new map, to get that new rank game rotation, to get that new whatever it is. But, again, we can't get those new things if the devs aren't getting paid and aren't given the leeway to put those new things out. The devs have so much passion for this game, but you had passion for something you loved. You're going to do it until the lights go out, until the wheels fall off. But the people you're doing it for aren't willing to give you a bike to even put the wheels on in the first place. Like, how are you going to do your job then? But anyway, that's pretty much all this video is about. I love Siege to death and back, but it's not in its best state right now. Although it is in its best state, it's been in for a while. But I had to say this really quick, because if I didn't, someone in those comments was going to be like, hey man, you forgot. Listen, yes, as I am literally making this video, I'm on the back half of editing this, Ubisoft came out with, yeah, we're making a subsect that's going to be focusing mostly on Rainbow Six Siege. Well, thanks for that, I guess. Yeah, honestly, it's an amazing idea. It really is a good idea to have just one big section where your game that has been making you millions of dollars for a while now can be focused on by people that fucking care about it. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. Anyway, new video in the next 2 weeks probably. School's in, I'm busy, shit like that. I don't know, but have a great day. Love all you for finishing this video. Thank you so much for watching. It means the goddamn world to me. See ya.